Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So, this is a big day. This is my first ever Tamiya F1 car. In all the years I've been doing Tamiya, I've never had one. And the reason why I've never had one is I've always kind of looked at them more as kind of a model than an actual RC car. Now, I know these are super popular and raced all over the world, but I've always thought they look very fragile. With them being two-wheel drive as well, I should imagine it's a driver's car, which is cool. Anyway, I thought it's time to buy the bullet and get one on this channel. So what we've got here is the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes MP4 24, which is on the F104 chassis. So this car was released by Tamiya in 2010. And it was a exact copy of the Lewis Hamilton 2009 F1 car, which is pretty cool. So let's have a look at the car. So I bought this car from Tony's Tamiya Parts. He did an advert saying it was like one of his members' cars who didn't finish it. So it was absolutely brand new, never run, fully ball raced, but needed finishing. But please have a look at everything it comes with, because you might need some parts. So I had a quick look and I could tell straight away there was a couple of decals missing, which I'll show you. But the car itself is absolutely awesome. So before we take the shell off, in fact, let's whiz the shell off, because the body shell is what I want to talk about mainly. So as I say, this is an F104 chassis. This is all completely new to me. So we have, looks like FRP. It's very thick though. It's quite thick. So we've got FRP chassis, top deck. You have this little fancy suspension unit here, which when you press down on it, compresses, and then you've got an adjustment for the tension of how much give you want the shock to have. Servo's fitted upright, which is pretty cool. And it has suspension, so if I can get in here. So the front suspension is on a little spring. See if I can lift it up. You can see the spring there. So what happens is, that's your front suspension. So there's hardly anything, obviously. But there's actually a little bit more than I thought there was going to be. And then your rear. See if I can show you that a bit better. It all together. So it has got a little bit of give. So you've got this huge plastic front spoiler wing, and then obviously you've got the rear spoiler, which is all plastic. Let's turn it round. It's got a standard 540 motor. I thought these might have been a thick staxle, but it's actually got a differential on it, which is cool. But I'm going to obviously strip this out. But yeah, it's got a working diff, so that's cool. What else is there? Another thing I found really cool, because I was trying to figure out how the battery went. So you have these two plates here. Let's try if I can. So on these two side plates here, so one side is for your receiver, the other side is for your speedo, or vice versa, and your battery goes straight down the middle. I was trying to figure out how you get the battery in, but it's quite clever. Tamiya have got these little side plates here. This all turns on both sides. If you can see that. So your battery slides in at an angle, and then you turn them round, and then you kind of clamp the battery in the middle, which is pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that before. What else is tyres are they're quite hard, so they've obviously got foam in them. And as I say, these have never been run. So there's not a great deal of give in them. I know a lot of people run foams as well. So that's the chassis. So this is the underneath of the chassis, which is pretty much what you'd expect. There's a better view of the spring for the front suspension. And then there's just big long, like FRP chassis. I don't know if it is FRP. It's got a darker finish. And the reason I say that is it's got this plate here, which allows the back suspension to work. This bit flexes, but that's got this kind of FRP pattern in it. Anyway, so that's that. So this is how the car came. I'll show you the other bits it comes with, but obviously the shell's been cut out. Now it did state on his advert that it's a little bit rough, so you can see there it needs trimming up, but it's no biggie really. So let's just put that back on. Now another thing I've picked up on, because this is all absolutely new to me, these things when they're done correctly look absolutely awesome. The realistic sort of scale look to them is awesome. This should have been done in black. I don't know if you can pick up on these lines here, to obviously give the sort of long F1 looking body. So these need to be black, but obviously he sprayed them in this silver. And I don't also think it's done in the correct box art colour, because I believe this should have been in the Tamiya chrome paint. And to me, this is certainly not chrome, this just looks like the bog standard silver paint. So there's not a lot I can do about that. It still looks good, but I've got other parts I need to spray, so I need to get the correct paint, which I'll show you in a minute. So this initial shell just needs touching up, no biggie. The driver unit needs painting, which again is no biggie really. It would have been easy to do it from scratch, but we haven't got that luxury. So that's that. So what I want to show you now is, I was quite blown away with this. So that's your bog standard shell, and what you get with the instructions is two different cutouts on the body. So this is the guy who had it opted for, which is just bog standard, basically cut the main shell out. But it gives you another option here. Now it states here, if more clearance is needed for RC mechanisms, follow the cutting line for body with side pontoons. So basically you chop, obviously that's the same, but then you chop all this bit out. So on the car itself, your cut line, all this would be cut out here and right along. So it obviously gives you a little bit more room for your radio gear. I'm guessing that's the main reason, but it also gives you a lot more realism, and I'll try to show you what I mean. So the first bits of plastics you get are these two panels here. So these are just side pods. So if you can imagine, sorry, so what we're looking at, this bit here is this unit. So you cut out of this line and then all this bit's missing, and then you spray this bit up and obviously cut it out, and this becomes a new side unit. So I've tried to gauge how much sort of distance extra it gives you clearance, and I don't see it to be a great deal. But what it does do, what I have noticed, where this is flat on this one, because if you follow this grill here, then on this grill here, you see it's more moulded, and it tucks in. So it would give it a little bit more realism. But the problem I have is I haven't got all the parts. Once, if you go for that option, you cut this out and then you spray this up and mount this here, it's supposed to have, I think it's called side pods. So there's another bit of polycarbonate that I've got on another bit that I cut out, but it's supposed to have this like plastic, it should be a piece of plastic which goes up on the side and attaches to it. Now I haven't got that. So before I start, I'm going to have to debate what I'm going to do with that, whether I just leave that as it is or if I go for that option. The next thing you get are these two side pods. So when I first looked at this shell, I thought yeah, it was done, but it's actually, the next bit is this unit here. So what you get, let me get this right way around for you. So this is the left hand side of this unit. Now this is obviously goes here, if you can imagine. So it's two bits to cut out, and then you stick them both together. And what this does, this then gives you this detail here and takes it right over and down to the wing. So that bit you have to use. And then you also, at the front of that, when that's together, you get another bit of polycarbonate with these two parts on, and that's your air scoop that goes on the front, obviously, of these bits. So this bit I have to do. This unit, this bit here is those two little side bits I was telling you about. But as I say, not too sure. Well, let's go on to the decals next. So this is the decals it came with. So obviously it's been started. Now the biggest issue I've got, which is really unfortunate, the two of the biggest Vodafone red decals have been cut out and missing. So, which is a real shame because I've got everything to cover from the front wing, all the shell, to the rear wing. But it's the two large red Vodafones that go here, which are not there. Which is I'm a bit gutted about. I mean, I knew that when I bought it, but I was kind of hoping that when I got it, I'd double check and it might be in the package somewhere, but it's actually not. Unfortunately, I can buy a full body set on eBay for about, I think it's about $100 Canadian, which is like 60 quid. I can't do that because I'd have far too much money in the car just for two decals. So that's unfortunate, and MCI Racing don't appear to do them, which is a bit of a shame. But everything's there, everything else is there. You have these tyre decals to put on Bridgestone and Potenza. One decal goes on each. This round one here is for the driver's helmet, which is pretty cool. Everything else is pretty bog standard, but then you get, which I quite like, this little sheet of decals here, which are the chrome decals. So these need cutting out for your front spoiler. So let's just bring this round. So a lot of these decals go on this unit here, which will give you that silver effect. So we get the side units decaled. This big wing has a red decal on it, and then these two fins are in silver, and I believe that's in silver as well. So that's going to be pretty cool to do. And that's all there, I can definitely finish that. What's next? So there we have it, Tamiya Legend's first F1 car. So really looking forward to getting this shell done and figuring out how all these bits go together. What I should have did, this big air scoop that goes on, it's all stuck down. It's first of all stuck together by double-sided tape, and then it sticks on the actual main shell with double-sided tape as well. My initial thoughts right now is I'm going to leave the sides, because I'd be really worried that if I cut all this out and put these new sides on without this front unit, it might not look quite right. I've googled pictures of it done both ways, and once it's decaled up and the fins on and what have you, this shell layout looks just fine. And then I don't waste these side pods. So that's my initial feeling, that I'm not going to bother with that. And obviously there's not a lot I can do about the missing the two large decals, but I still think it'll look amazing, to be honest. These decals with the chrome ones and the red, they absolutely bring the plastics alive, so the rear wing will really stand out, and more so the front wing. What I should have said was these rear sides of the rear wing, they come off and they have to be sprayed silver as well, same colour as the shell. So I need to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to nip to the hobby shop and match up the correct paint, which I believe is just bog standard Tamiya silver, super shot silver. And once I've got that, I need to get some more masking tape. Sorry, that's what I should have said. So I'm definitely going to do the two-tone. I'm going to mask this off now. Obviously I'm going to have to do it on the outside of the shell, which is not ideal, but this, you can see this line here, this line, this all has to be black, and all this unit is black. So it's crazy not to do it. As I say, I know it's not going to look quite as good because it's not sprayed on the inside, but it has to be done to give that sort of more realistic look. So I've got black paint, get the silver, and it's just a case of taking my time and decaling it up, which is super cool. Obviously it's still winter here, hence why there's hardly any running videos coming from this channel. But yeah, as soon as that's done and the weather, and I can find somewhere suitable to run it, because as you imagine, the clearance here is about 4-5 mil max. So it's going to need a really smooth surface to run it on. Probably stay with the 540, I guess, because this is not all about speed. This is more about just having fun and sort of the driving ability of the car. So I'll probably stay with the 540. I will run it on a 2S LiPo for two reasons. Main one is the weight. Obviously a 7.2 NIM is quite heavy compared to a LiPo. And I want to keep the weight down on the car. So, and obviously the second reason is it's going to give me a little bit more power on the standard 540, which will pretty much make it fast enough for what I want for a couple of running videos. And I'll probably go with a Hobby Wing 1060 Speedo mounted on its side, and I have micro receivers, so there shouldn't be any issue with the radio gear and making it all fit in here, which is super cool. So that's that, I think. So that's it, guys. Super excited about it. Something completely different for me and this channel, and I hope it's something of interest to you guys. And also, as these things go, I've also got a vintage second F1 car on its way to me. This is how it works for me. So that's not to run though, that's just to do a quick video on, because that's from the 90s, and that's the Williams Honda Nigel Mansell car, and that's actually on the F102 chassis, which is pretty rare nowadays. So I'll do a standalone video on that when it arrives to show you guys it. So I'll shut up. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. It's much appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing and hit that notification bell for our weekly videos, that would be absolutely awesome. But most of all, as always, happy RCing.